pieces are just enough, or if you want you can add more. I don't think I would want to add more considering the heat here right now, so I'm not going to use that. And I think I missed showing you all perlite. I'll just show it here, one moment. So yeah, this is perlite. This is nothing else but volcanic ash. So it looks a lot like thermocol, but it is not. It is biodegradable, and it does wonders for your plants actually. So please do not use thermocol in your potting mix, because over time thermocol, when it becomes very hot, it disintegrates into the soil, and it creates toxins for the plants which indirectly kill the plant. Now for all of you, you can see how aerated the soil is. Okay, it is extremely aerated, and there is no chance, although it is holding moisture. If you all can see my hand, it is holding moisture, but it is not, leaving the moisture complete. And when I do this, it is just holding on for just a little bit. So this is how actually your plant, your succulents will need soil. This is the best soil for them. And once you have potted your succulent, you need to water it immediately. After that, do not water it for at least 2 days, because for something as gentle as this, okay, this roots will only absorb a little bit, and they will be absorbing the nutrients from the plant for a good number of days. So watering them regularly is not required unless and until you are putting them in full sun like I do. So I'll just show you how we're going to pot this now. In the meantime, any questions? I seem like everybody seems to be very quiet. Are there any questions? Is it a good thing or a bad thing?
Can we use vermicompost?
Vermicompost, that's part of composting. As I said, it's a good thing to use it, but it has to be well degraded. So pieces of wood or coir or something like that which has not degraded, even your food stuff which is not properly degraded, then please don't use it. Strain it and use it. And again, you have to understand the compost you're using, because compost like which has banana peels, vegetable waste, fruit waste, as well as your kitchen discards, they are very highly potent for your succulents, but they are extremely good for your flowering plants. So your outdoor plants will do very well in that compost, but succulents will get burnt out in it. Indoor plants will get burnt out in it. So you need to have a compost which is leaf based. So if you see this drum behind me, it's a pure leaf based composting system that I have. And the only thing I add to it is eggshells, because that gives your, mainly all your plants a lot of calcium, so which they require over time. And when I use this also, it will just be a handful of it that it will be used for my succulents. Hope that answers your question.
Yeah, thank you.
Any other questions? I see that Sheetal, Indu, everybody are very quiet. I hope this is helping. So, yeah, Pushpa had joined a call with me recently, and there were a few questions.
We are able to follow you up very nicely, so we are just listening to your explanation.
Thank you so much. So I just was removing the cups from this to show you that I'm not very sure if you all can see this, but there are very tiny roots, okay, on these. So these will develop, even though this does not have a leaf on it, it will develop. It's just the idea is to put it into gentle soil, not completely inside, but a little soil on the top, and it will gain more roots. So yeah, so all the dry leaves, as you can see, I just kept it alongside with this. So it will just be like, adding some more, what is it called, cocoa peat kind of thing to it, like a composting, leaf composting. Now in my ceramic pot, now many of you all want to use ceramic pots, but ceramic pots are not the best because they heat up the plant over in the summer. So ceramic is always better to use with a pot inside it. And if you are using it outdoor also, try to avoid having this aerated soil. Have more of red soil in it compared to having so much of aeration, because when you have a ceramic pot with so much aeration, the roots will dry up faster, considering it will retain heat. And if you are using terracotta, then the aeration can remain the same, it's not a problem, but you will have to water your plant more often, considering the terracotta will leave water out very fast, it absorbs the water very fast. It'll keep the plant cool, but you will have to daily water your succulents, keep perlite to it, because I feel like it's getting a little the sand is getting very sticky, so I'm adding a little perlite. And this is how it's done. You just put the soil down, you put your succulent in like this. So just make sure that your plant is well placed down so that it doesn't come out. And as I showed you these little tiny babies, I'm just putting them down over here in the soil gently. And I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit of mud on them, which ideally speaking, when you water the plant, it should move off the main roots. So here I've put in the succulent. You can put stones, you can decorate the succulent with whatever you want on top, but ensuring that there is enough aeration to this plant. Now that is one thing. Now as you can see, this particular plant desperately needs repotting. So this is in a 4.5 inch pot again, and if you see, it's completely root bound. So here I will not disturb the plant with the entire thing. What rather I would do is I would take a bigger pot. So the pot again has a lot of aeration. If you see, this is a nursery pot with a lot of aeration, and this is 4.5, so I'm moving it to nearly a 7 inch pot. And when I do that, again I will put hay down here. I hope you can see that. You can still see the holes, but it's not like the mud is going to release from it. So here we just take this, again the same process where we put some mud down. Okay, and generally the coals have to be around the rooting surface. Okay, and if you see, I'm just taking up a little bit of the top soil, only the top which is next to the stem. I'm doing this mainly because what will happen is the water which you pour on the top now will seep in through this mainly, and these roots will start opening up slowly into the pot on the sides. So when I put it in, you can see there's a huge difference. There's a lot of gap. Can you all see it? So there's a lot of gap in the pot, and that I'm just going to fill up with some soil. That's it.